Hey, what's up, guys? Dr. Jim from Rubber City Chiropractic here in Akron, Ohio, back with you for another week of mobility work. This week, 18.2. Let's go ahead and dive into the workout. So as you guys know, 18.2 has a 12-minute time cap. It is ascending order, 1 rep to 10 reps of dumbbell squats at men's weight of 50 pounds, women's weight of 35 pounds, followed by bar-facing burpees. Isn't that going to be fun? If you finish all of this, then you get to move on to part B, which is performing a 1 rep max clean. And that will be fun too. So what I have written over here for you guys, hopefully you can see this, right here is going to be a mobility plan to help get you guys set up for the front rack position and then also for the burpee prep. So what we're going to start with is a banded tricep stretch. That's going to include a couple rounds of 30-second stretches, and I'll show you guys that here in a second, followed by, similar to what we did last week, T-spine mobilization for obviously the mid-back, but we're going to use a foam roller again. I think that did really well. Had a lot of good feedback on how that prepped a lot of people's midlines to go overhead. And then we're going to do some work with prepping for the burpee. I know it seems like, well, I know how to get down to the ground and get back up. Let's give you a few things to make you feel like you're that much more ready to go. We're going to use a band from behind and a band from the front. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Here we go. All right, guys, so step one, what we're going to do is we're going to work on a banded tricep stretch that's also going to allow us to access a better front rack position by opening up the lat muscle. Grab your band, attach it to something that's a little bit lower to the ground, maybe something that's at knee height. And pretty similar to last week, we're actually going to go ahead and get the arm locked into something right along the wrist. And what we're going to do is we're going to either get down on the ground or some type of position where we can get overhead. And we're going to just hang out here for about 30 seconds per arm, and we're going to do 2 to 3 sets. So the drill here is to set the shoulder blade down and back, get the elbow point and face forward. You should feel a nice stretch on the back side of the arm and on the underside of the shoulder blade here. You're going to be on the tricep lat attachment. Big breath in, exhale. You know I like to use the 4-4-8 principle that Kelly Starrett likes to use. 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 8-second exhale, 2 to 3 sets per side at 30 seconds. That is going to be mobility drill number 1. All right, guys, mobility drill number 2 is going to look a lot like last week's T-spine mobility drill because it is the same idea with a foam roller. This time we're going to add a little bit more stress into the overhead position. So first position here, big hug across the chest, lift the glutes off the ground, let the head fall back into a little bit of extension, bring yourself right back into flexion, find a new spot. Let yourself go back into extension, bring yourself into flexion, find a new spot, and work your way down or work your way up the spine. Somewhere along the lines, I'd like you to get your hands over the head. You can use a PVC pipe or just simply set your hands together, maybe space them out by a foot, reach overhead, let the glutes drop to the ground, regather your pelvis, bringing it right back to neutral, bring your hands back over the chest, and then return them back into the overhead position. I sound like I'm on an airline flight, but you get the idea. Keep mixing up, dropping the pelvis and letting the arms go overhead. And a little tip is to split the entire T-spine up into thirds. Work 30 seconds on the upper half, work 30 seconds in the middle half, half. Work 30 seconds on the upper third, work 30 seconds in the middle third, and work 30 seconds in the lower third. Don't spend too much more time than 2 to 3 minutes for the entire T-spine and move on to the next drill. That is mobility drill number 2. All right, guys, so mobility drill number 3 is going to be one of 3 movements that we're going to do to prep the burpee. So number 1, get your band set up at something at knee height. It is going to attach just above the hip crease, and it's going to be being pulled behind us. The first of the movements that we want to start prepping is going to be that hip hinge, the proper hip hinge. So take a step forward so you feel a pretty good stretch going through that band. And while keeping the back straight, you want to try to get yourself to present the chest forward without rounding the back, firing the hamstring and glutes to stand right back up, and repeating this process for 20 reps. After you've done 20 in a semi-bent knee position, I'd like you to step forward, and we're going to prep the hamstrings by taking a bent knee and pushing through the ground, using your quad muscles, which are on the front of the leg, straightening the leg, bending back down with the knee, straightening it right back out. Flossing the hamstring back and forth. We can call this the hamstring floss. So that was 2 different mobs there. Number 1, try to get hip hinge activated to clean up the hip. And step 2 will be to floss the hamstrings, semi-bent knee, press through the floor, all while trying to maintain a very straight spine. That is mobility drill number 3 and 4. Alrighty guys, mobility drill number 5 is going to allow us to access more hip extension. So, band can stay at the same height, step into the band, bring it right up underneath the glute fold, and we want to play around with getting this glute to turn on by getting a good glute squeeze. The band will allow the hip to distract forward into its capsule. And what we want to do is we want to hinge backwards just a couple inches, squeeze the glute, come forward, all while not letting that low back crank into extension. We want to protect the low back here. We're just trying to access more hip extension for this workout. So, if you need to feel more of a stretch, keep the glute turned on, reach this arm up and over your body, reaching across and over, and you will find some type of stretch in that front hip capsule. Hang out here 2 to 3 minutes, rocking in and out to make sure that you got this turned into tension. If you need to add one more layer to this, you can take this back leg and turn it out, which would be towards the camera, recapture that glute, shift forward, and you will be into some medial musculature as well that might be pulling into the groin. Obviously, hang out there for 30 seconds, back off, find a new spot, build up to 2 to 3 minutes per leg, and that is mobility drill number 5.
Hey, thanks again, guys, for tuning in for another week of mobility work, 18.2. Special thanks to everybody who sent their feedback and success stories from 18.1, letting me know how much help this mobility work did for them and their crew at their box. So appreciate it very much, and enjoy 18.2. Have fun, be safe. Until next week, Dr. Jim signing off. Catch y'all next week.